It's that time of the year again where we play EU4 for 24 hours straight. Why, you might ask? Because me and whoever signed up for these lobbies are pure degenerates that like spending 24 hours staring at a map. If you're a returning viewer, you know this is not the first time that I've done this. And in fact, you can watch my other 24-hour campaigns right over by clicking in that eye icon in the top right corner. For this campaign, I really wanted to play one of my favorite nations. And no, it's not Portugal, even though I really do like playing Portugal. My other favorite nation also starts with the letter P. Yes, the nation of Peru. I love Peru. Peru is awesome. Nah, I'm playing. You already know which nation. It's in the title of the video. It's Poland. And I actually do really enjoy playing Poland. Not only are you in the center of the action, you have a great idea set, and with this mod, a very good mission tree as well. In fact, I'd even go further. I love Poland. Poland is the best country in the world. Have you ever thought of investing into Eastern Poland? It's a great investment. Trust. Invest now. Eastern Poland is amazing. Of course, nowadays, we only play modded multiplayer, mostly for quality of life and balancing reasons. And in this mod, Poland has adjusted ideas, nerfed cav combat ability, but we get our discipline much earlier. Our trade node is stronger, with the Teutonic lands being part of the Krakow node, and Silesian lands having more provinces and being outside of the HRE and not vassals of Bohemia. We also start with Mazovia already integrated, and we already have the Cossacks estate, despite not having a single step province. And as I mentioned earlier, we have an extensive mission tree that's from the Missions Expanded mod, but with adjustments for multiplayer, as well as some really cool monuments that we will be upgrading in this campaign. So you're definitely going to want to watch this one all the way to the end, because it does get juicy. Welcome to the 24-hour game. We're already going into it, dude. We're already starting into the freaking game. Okay, let's do our opener. Our opener was very simple. We conquered the Silesian lands, making them our vassals, and then we did a show strength on Bohemia. You might also notice that we already have a PU on Lithuania, and thinking, dude, isn't it better to take the better ruler? And yes, in Vanilla, it is better to take the better ruler. In Vanilla, you take the really good ruler, and then you conquer Lithuanian lands, and then you form Ruthenia through culture swapping or stating or some kind of trick. However, Ruthenia in this mod is not a formable that's made for Poland. It's a formable for the nation of Crimea. It's a Ukrainian LARP formable, as it should be. As Poland in the mod, we only have one formable, and that's the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. So there's no Prussia or Ruthenia shenanigans going to happen. What happens is that we get the Lithuania PU, but it loses land to Russia and also to new nations that pop out of it, and you get a pretty good ruler of 545. Unfortunately, Moldova was snagged almost immediately by the Crimean player. More on him later. But the Danzig Confederation event happened immediately, and through the mod, we immediately become the main war leader, and we take everything, hit a mission that allows us to form a ducal Prussia in our lands, which is very LARPy, that we get this Prussia that becomes our march, which has the ducal Prussia borders. As long as this Prussia exists, Brandenburg cannot form Prussia, something important to note. I wanted to avoid early conflict in this campaign because I truly believe that the Polish lands are really great for developing and building up. Like, you don't need to expand initially as Poland. You can just sit on what you have and build it up for at least the first 50 to 80 years of the game. Yeah, that's boring, but hey, you will have all the buildings in all of your provinces. Our main concern was the nation of Crimea. We had made a deal with him that we wouldn't rush for Kyiv and that he could have one province from us after we pop a mission so he can have a complete state. We also made a deal with the Muscovy player that we would give him also one province after we completed a mission so he could get a full state. And we also made a deal with Brandenburg and Hungary of neutrality. Since I've played Poland before and this was going to be a long stream and I was starting it off with basically non-aggression, not fighting player wars, I wanted to make it interesting for my Twitch chat. And that's when I introduced the idea that my Twitch chat was the Polish Sejm. I think I'm pronouncing that right, Sejm. And basically, as the game progresses and the more subs that I got from this Twitch stream, the more power the Sejm would have in the affairs of Poland. At first, this just started with whether or not we should disinherit certain heirs. And as it progressed, they would get more power. There's gonna be a dev and chill lobby. I like that. I like you, Mr. Sejm. The Sejm is in session. Sejm is in session. Do we trust Hungary? Trust Hungary. Okay, Kegels, wait, we will take the deal. And non-aggression pact for 50 years. You just gave out land? Yeah. I'm not gonna fight Crimea and ruin my early game scaling for one province. I know you're angry as the... I know you guys are gonna be angry. It's not Sigma Grindstone, I know, Axel. But it's fine, chat. It's just I don't want to end while we're about to dev. Look. It's a big dev cycle's incoming. And ready. Wait for one more month. Okay, let's go. Making 14, 11, 6. And yeah, we don't have much time to dev, right? Yeah, we don't have much time to dev, so we gotta dev fast. And develop our lands is exactly what we did. We did so much development here. If you notice, we also went an admin idea first. We went religious first. Ideas are completely reworked, by the way. But we went religious because it gives us a buff to tax, as well as manpower and a slight to morale, also giving us a new CB, which were all really nice bonuses, especially added with our next idea, which is going to be quantity. And then after that, we will go trade so we can have a big goods produced and great tax modifier. So overall, we can make a lot of money on just the land that we have. Again, yes, a very boring opener, not very exciting, but I still stand by this being the best way to open Poland. It's better to just build up Poland and play reactively if someone attacks you, and then once you're built up, you can be ready to strike. And of course, we maintained a big army because, you know, you still have to prepare in case someone declares war on us. But without fighting a single player war, we were the 5th greatest power. It was concerning though that our neighbor Crimea was the strongest and a lot of people were complaining about him. But hey, at least at this point, we were the #1 biggest building value. Our lands were getting super developed and we were building so many buildings and we were making a lot of cash for our size. We maintained good relations with all our neighbors, even Crimea, and even when Muscovy called for our help, we did ask the Sejm, and the Sejm even voted to keep out of Muscovy's wars. However, this allowed us to get a really high income. We were at 120 ducat income by 1499. Farm estate's done. That means we can click this mission. Wait for the month tick. Month tick gone. We can click this one, which is gonna give me a lot. Okay, so here's the Poland can prosper too. Get paper in Warsaw, glass in Chelsea, glass in Lublin, or dev cost on all cloth and 25 goods produced on all cloth for 30 years. Paper is really good, but glass is kind of mid. Well, it's compared to cloth, I think they're the same value. Glass gets higher value later with lens making. I think we're going to the cloth. What does this monument do? It gives every time we upgrade it, we get 100 of all points, which is dope. So we just basically are doing show strength for money. And also it gives on the max level right now, it's just giving institution spread and institution growth. Are all trade levels max level? Yeah, we've upgraded all of them. We have actually one more than we should have because we have 4. Habibi would see this Crimea and be like, this
Brandenburg is too big.
This Brandenburg is ganking Sweden with Hansa, dude.
Oh.
Bro, I never saw Brandenburg that big though. It always died.
You know what time it is? Form the PLC. Habibi, when next war? Habibi, I am falling asleep. The Crimeans, who we have been appeasing to, have formed the Mongol Empire. And with this new formable, they were on a war rampage, even turning on us. And with the Mongol Empire being the #1 great power, this was going to be an incredibly hard war. The Muscovites came to our aid. However, their army was incredibly depleted from their previous wars with the Mongolians. We had a lot of troops, but the Mongolian quality was scary, especially on flatlands.
I'll just throw my 5 shot there.
Yeah. Discipline. Where's the discipline?
He's killing the reinforcements now.
Why is he doing this? He wants to kill other
I think
I expect that.
He has enough luck. Just wants to fight.
Yeah.
I'm wrecking this battle. He does like double the casualties. Although we won one of the first 2 battles, the casualties were insane and our manpower was getting depleted immediately. One mistake I made here was I didn't make mercenaries right in the beginning of the war. I thought my big manpower pool of 400k, which at the time was the highest in the game, would be able to hold back the Mongolians. But the Mongolian quality was just way too good. Oh, that's a good battle.
yeah.
Oh, wait, fuck.
I hope
You're gonna get wrecked if you fight alone.
yeah.
I'm winning against Mongol, actually.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I'm winning against Mongol. I just need army tradition. I'm actually winning against the Mongols.
I'm renting my general until you.
To my surprise, we were actually winning battles against the Mongols. There was one big problem though. Once I depleted my manpower, I would be out of juice completely. And the Mongols, they were fighting for a long time, meaning that they had army tradition and army professionalism, 2 things that I did not have. Come on! I need all the nobles' power, I need all your attacks! Come on! Get also a Merc, a Cav company. Dude! Put in the good general, please. Put in the good general, I need it.
Yeah.
Actually beating him, dude! Actually beating him, dude! #1 dev my ass, Mongol Empire. The battle victories were getting to my head. I was forgetting one key thing. My manpower reserves were becoming completely drained, and without them, I cannot support my cav heavy army. Mercenaries usually are just infantry, so that meant that in the long run, as long as Mongolian Empire had troops to make his own cav, we would be in trouble, and that is exactly what happened. I don't think we win this one. To be honest.
Oh, now give me manpower, you piece of shit.
This is lost. Why can't I hire mercs? With the Mongolians sieging our capital, it was becoming apparent to me that there was no victory in this war. I became too clouded by the victories in the battle, and I did not strategize a way to actually get out of the war. And even though the Mongolians committed more in terms of money, because their economy is not as good as ours, we were in the end the losers. And we had to accept their demands for 2 of our states and max money. The old Habibi would have coped. The old Habibi would have seethed. The old Habibi would have started organizing a giga gank to kill this Mongolia. But this wasn't the old Habibi. Our income was almost at 300 and our manpower almost at 500k. Despite the weird looking size of our nation, we had every province with almost max buildings at this stage of the game, which was crazy. Our armies now had experience, which mean we had army tradition, and that meant that it was time to start drilling our forces. The next time we fight the Mongols, it wouldn't be so rough. And it was time to start doing some Habibi diplomacy. I told the Mongol Empire if he gave me back the state, I'd give him 10,000 ducats. But little did he know, I was lying. I give you the money after you return. I don't trust you.
I just let you sell it.
Because what if you do, you're gonna send one that's normal price and then you're gonna send one that's like 3,000 or something.
Time to gank him.
No.
Yeah. No, I don't. Send it normally and I'll give you the money. The Mongols ended up returning 1 province before he realized I was lying. But that was good enough. He could now no longer state that state because of the mod. In this mod, you can't state a province unless you control the entire state. And that meant the one state he took was now going to be a territory, meaning that in the next war, I could take it back for very low war score. To secure another ally, so we didn't have to worry about getting flanked on the side, we gave Brandenburg the unthinkable. We gave him Königsberg, we lent it to him for a small point of time so he can form Prussia. This lobby became the lobby of the surviving powers. Muscovy and Ardabil, despite being ran down by their neighbors, were both still playing. And I wanted to see Ardabil form Persia, and I wanted to see Muscovy form Russia. And meanwhile, Hungary was fighting the second strongest nation of Egypt. And what was even more concerning, it seemed that Egypt and Crimea, or the Mongol Empire, had some sort of alliance and were working together. And when both Mongol Empire and Egypt attacked Persia, I felt the need to come to Persia's aid. And we were once again in war with the Mongol Empire. Here we go again. We're helping the Mongol Empire decked on this little Ardabil. We're helping it, but we can't get it to it, but we're just sieging this. I might look like a small nation. I might be not even top AGP, but I have the most troops, and I know that. Get my best general. I need my best general in that battle. Yeah. He's not wrecking me at all anymore. Oh, it's not a cav tech. Oh. Okay, he's wrecking me a little bit. Arabia, I'm sending you white piece too. Are you getting stab hit still?
Yeah, he's got 50%.
He has 39, look.
Oh, 39. Fantastic.
I won this battle.
This Muscovy is such a lovely country, man.
They are checking from Portuguese.
This war was so incredibly hard, even harder than the first war. Even though we had more troops, the problem was that so did the Mongols. They had more troops and their quality felt even more insane somehow. Egypt now was directly supporting and fighting alongside the Mongol Empire, the number 1 and number 2 GP, attacking Ardabil, one of the weakest player nations left in the game. And alone, at first, initially again, I was winning, but it became incredibly hard once the entire Mongol army was at our border. The Mongol Empire and Egypt did separate wars, and since they were occupying separate land, Ardabil was able to unconditionally surrender to Mongol Empire. That did mean, though, we lost another war to the Mongol Empire. This guy is my hope, dude. Ardabil. We got it. Look, dude, the guy's still playing. Look, both of them, Piba and Palada, they're both playing, trying, dude. It was now apparent to everyone in the lobby that the top 2 GPs, Egypt and Mongolian Empire, were now helping each other. On top of that, they're both friends and they're known players to friend box, which is one of the cardinal sins of EU4 MP. You don't box and make alliances with your friends. You fight your friends like a Giga Chad.
Flashback. Well, you're actually coming in. You're sick, Habibi. Help, Emperor. Help.
Just give me Holstein. Hey Tony, I think we're in a memorial, Tony.
You and my daughter's wedding, huh?
Wow.
Daughter's wedding.
And my daughter's wedding.
My daughter's wedding.
My daughter's wedding. But some people don't understand that. And because of that, without me even doing any diplomacy, a great coalition was being formed against both Mongolian Empire and the Egyptians. This is exactly what we wanted.
You've activated my trap.
We've activated the trap card. We've activated the trap card. I'm truce breaking and I'm calling you both in. Let's go.
Oh yeah, calling Sweplan. He has a truce, I think. Oh, he doesn't. Mongol. Oh, I forgot that I...
Get in this shit.
Oh, that we got black flag.
I forgot.
Egypt.
Oh my god, 15.
We're going.
We're going.
We in this quiz. Where do we land though?
You lose the battle in Hungary.
They tried to kill my Pipa. I was all for fair wars, but they tried to kill my Pipa. My Ardabil. We will see Persia. We will see Persia on this campaign. We will see Purge on this campaign. And what was the friend box's response to us doing this coalition war? Egypt double unconditionally surrendered in his wars in order to help the Mongol Empire against me. And the Egypt player had the audacity to say, oh, I'm not friend boxing. I'm just double unconditionally surrendering because this is the only way we can win. Alright, this is less crazy. This is less crazy, but it's just us 3 versus these 2. Cutting off some troops here.
We're involved.
We're involved. After years of fighting the Mongol Empire, we were victorious. And even though it was kind of a gank in the end, we were the nation that committed the most for this war, for obvious reasons. Meanwhile, France and Prussia both took no debt in that war. The Mongol Empire obviously was still a player, however, they were in a much weakened state after this bankruptcy. Us, on the other hand, we did have a lot of debt, but we could reliably pay it off in a fast enough time where we did not need to bankrupt. This is also another advantage of being so well built. We don't really have that many buildings to build since we've spent so much time in the early game building those buildings that we can now afford to spend time just paying off debt.
Finally, Poland can just chill out a little bit, man. Can chill out, stabilize, fix the yellow, chill out, calm down. Do we have courthouses everywhere yet? You know, that's what we kind of need. We need universities and courthouses everywhere. Oh, it's these courthouses too.
In the end, fighting these wars were worth it. Muscovy was able to form Russia, and Ardabil was able to form Persia. They both might not be the strongest nations in the game, but in a way, they both already won this lobby. And under King Casimir V, Poland had a second renaissance, at hiring all level 7 advisors, making 18 admins, 17 diplo, and 15 mil every single month, while also having an income of around 350 ducats. Poland was now prospering. And to top it all off, we were elected the Holy Roman Empire. It was crumbling apart, but that's less important.
Persia formed. And Russia formed. Oh, no, from fighting the Mongols, dude. Oh my god, felt like it would never end. And now we only have 16 years where we have our golden liberty. Oh my god. Well, we need to cease debt repayments. The Sesam has decided they want our army comp to be 50-50. And for that, we will do 50-50 as your request.
Once again, we were in another war against the Mongol Empire. They had declared war on us for Kiev, and they wanted the monument very badly. Of course, we were now much stronger, and we were able to take them on our own. Still, the casualties were in the Mongols' favor, but this time we had more army professionalism and more stacked manpower, giving us a bigger advantage than we had in the previous wars. After the initial front line, Mongol Empire's forts were very lackluster, allowing us to catch his reinforcements and win battles more decisively.
And with a decisive battle after decisive battle, we were able to secure 95% war score, which gave us enough war score to enforce peace, winning us a war and giving us much more Ruthenian lands, expanding the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. There's no one else except for Kruder. The Roman Empire is just Poland.
And some vassals.
There's no one to re-elect me. It's hereditary rule. I'm just there forever. The world, 1634. And now that we were incredibly powerful, even though our size and landmass wasn't that big, we were very strong in terms of army quality, as well as the troop count. We were almost a 1.5 million max manpower at this point. I let the Sejm decide who our next war target would be. And they chose Sweden, because if you remember or you recall, I did own a Polish Courland, and I ended up selling it to Sweden. Well, the Sejm decided they wanted it back. So we got into a war with Sweden. And we're engaging. Should be a good, decent battle. Retreat. Ooh. Okay, so you hit this one. You hit this one, chat. And then we go into our mission tree. And we hit this one. And we hit this one. And now we got more cap combat ability. Get these guys over here. Get these ones over here like that. Reinforce with 1k at a time. Get the reinforcement of this. Go here. Good night, dude. Good night. Good night, chatter. I'm sad you couldn't watch Stay for the War. Move this cannon stack forward. You know what we need? We need reinforcements. We need reinforcement advisor right now. Well, after this battle, we'll put the reinforcement advisor. No, we retreat both. We retreat both battles. Get reinforcement advisor. We need to reinforce our armies faster. All right, back to this one. Make another infantry stack. Actually, make 2 infantry stacks. Go up to 800k. You go like this. You go like this. And get the rest ready for reinforcements. I wonder if Sweden's taking debt for this? Well, we can check. No. In these wars, it's about manpower, really. Less about the money.
Pedophile showing there.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Okay, I'm messing around too much here, though. Full morale? You could just go in. We need more troops, though.
Is that on purpose? There's no error message or anything. But he's just great out.
Vito broke it. That's what happened.
Yeah, he broke it again.
Wait, 1 month tick. Wait, 1 month tick. There we go. You ready to give demands? I'm shredding now, dude. I don't know what happened, but now I'm shredding. With the Swedes drained of their manpower and now taking debt, they decided to take terms. As long as I did not take 100% peace deal, they would accept. Which in the end, I did not. I ended up just taking basically Estonia, Courland area. From a humiliated Commonwealth to now a rising great power, we were becoming stronger every single war, and this was just the beginning of our exponential growth. We fought the Mongol Empire once again, but now extremely weakened from all of its neighbors. Our neighbor and our long-term ally, Hungary, was attacked by Italy, and we decided to help him since Italy was now at this point rising and becoming the #1 great power in the world. This war, however, was a disaster. After his front line
Hungary had all outdated forts, allowing Italy to rush them and push us all the way to Slovakia.
This is insane. This is actual madness. This is right. What's happening right here? This is actual madness.
It is open field fighting with that fort lines.
Yeah, your forts are so bad.
Yeah, I know.
In a classic Habibi fashion, I smelt blood in the water. And when that happened, I unallied Hungary and I truce broke him, rushing down his forts and able to completely decimate his army in the matter of months. Without any planning, the South German Federation also attacked Hungary at this time, and that was it for Hungary, and the player wanted to sleep anyway, so don't feel bad for him. The player was getting tired. You have to remember that this is a 24-hour game, and this was about hour 18 or 19 into the game. He was getting tired anyways. The crazy part though is the peace deal. With 100 absolutism and a bunch of war score cost, we were able to take a huge chunk out of Hungary. We took 600 dev from the Hungarian nation, all in one war. And of course, we truce broke, taking another 100%, this time taking all of the Balkans that Hungary controlled. After stabilizing from the Hungarian wars, we now had the largest army and the second highest income in the game. We were now experiencing an early industrial period thanks to the excessive amount of coal we had. Our goods produced at this point was somewhere around 160%. And we were now the third biggest great power in the game. The Commonwealth was industrializing. It was also time for counting houses on top of our great industrial power that we already had. This is probably one of the most built nations that I had. Not only did we have manufactories everywhere, furnaces on every coal province, but we had barracks in everywhere, we had regimental camps, conscription centers, all kinds of buildings in every single one of our provinces, using the expand infrastructure as much as possible while managing governing capacity using mechanics that are part of the mod. Despite being so big, every single one of our provinces were nearly maxed out. Nearly. And to finish off our campaign in a nice and full fashion, we fought Arabia for Thrace and Constantinople. At this point, our army being almost double his size, it was a very straightforward war. One thing that we did learn was that because of our army recovery speed that we had acquired from our build, we were able to drill units before going into battle. Just watch as I undrill them or stop drilling, and they immediately get full morale. This war was short and sweet because once we reached 50%, we were actually able to stab hit just for Thrace and Constantinople, only taking 18% war score just for these 5 provinces. And just like that, we now controlled Constantinople. And to finish off the campaign, we had 2 wars for fun. At this point, the original Italy player had rage quit after fighting multiple coalition wars and no longer being the #1 GP. It now was Hindustan and us at second place. We fought against the North and German Federation as well as the South German Federation for fun. We ended up losing. They had so many troops and ended up outlasting us in manpower. And finally, we finished off with a goofy war against Hindustan, where we just ran all of our army into one battle at the same time. And in the end, it was a lot of fun. This campaign was so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. From now on, my videos are going to be like this. There's not going to be parts. It's just going to be the entire campaign in one video, even if the video is 42 minutes long. Check me out on Twitch. It is September. Subs are 30% off. Check me out. That's a great way to support me. And that's it for this one. Bye-bye!